come from. Now you can actually do full-day workshops on these to learn how to interact with people. And it all goes back to being able to communicate and interact with these people and make them feel comfortable around you. Now, DISC stands for a different type of personality. Okay? D stands for dominant, direct, straight to the point. They actually come, if they're walking in the lecture room, they'll storm in, okay, they'll pop their books on the bench, sit down, and sort of pop their chest up, and I'm the man. All right? If you're training them, okay, you've got to be straight to the point. Cut the crap, cut the waffly stuff. If you start waffling around, they'll just tell you to shut up. They're Ds. All right? Probably a few Ds in the room. Now, my personalities are interactive, influencing, very out there, very bubbly type people. They're the people that walk in, they check out how many mates are there, they'll see who they haven't caught up with, and they'll go and sit next to them, catch up with them for 5 minutes, move on, catch up with someone else, give each of them a hug. They're the people that you go into a nightclub, they're dancing on the poles and they're dancing, shaking their booty, right? Absolutely, they don't care what anyone else thinks, they love the attention. My personality, probably a few people here, judging by the response, okay? S personalities. S personalities are very steady, cautious, very loyal type people, okay? They'll walk into a room and they'll just go to the back and so don't disturb anyone. Just sort of grab a seat and won't make too much noise and just sort of chill out back here and hopefully no one notices me. Okay? They're your S, it's very steady and loyal and will normally do anything. If you're training them, they'll do anything that you say and they won't question you. Okay? C personality stands for cautious, calculative, and very analytical. They're the guys who work with the numbers. They love their numbers. Okay, so you ask, we'll walk into a room and they might say, which angle can I sit at? It's going to give me the best view. So my head, projector. All right, great. If you're training a C, if you miss a rep, count by 1, you get slapped across the head. Okay, I did 5, not 4. What are you doing? All right, so be aware of those when you're training them and when you're selling to them and when you're talking to them. There are 4 different types of people mainly. Now, everyone has a mix of both, okay? You will get high Ds, high Is, high S's, high C's, but most people have a bit of a mix, okay? It's very interesting, and as I said, full-day workshops conducted on those. Okay, you need to be, now I hate this word, I hate the word sales, okay? Because when you think of sales, what do you think of? Used car salesman, pushy, I want money, those kind of things. Hate it, okay? But unfortunately, whether you like it or not, every single person in this room is a salesperson, okay? Have you ever been on a date? You're a salesperson, alright? I don't actually like using the word sales stuff. What I like to use is, and you might want to write this down because it's very important. When I talk to someone, I like to use the word transference of passion, okay? 3 words, but I'll use that instead of sales. Now, if you can transfer your passion to someone, they're going to want what you have. And if you want to call it sales, call it sales, but that's the word I call it. And in fact, I don't know whether some of you are picking some of it up, but I don't know how you guys know how passionate I am about this industry. Some of you might think this guy's really passionate about it. Some of you might think this guy's just nuts, okay? Doesn't matter what you think, but it's mainly, that's what I'm doing today, okay? Trying to show you the concept, in essence. And every other speaker that will come in to speak to you about their field, that is what they're doing, okay? So, generalised term, but if you look at it from that sense, passionate about what you do, talk about it like you really, really believe it, and people will just, I've got to have what this guy is talking about. And it's important to balance what you do outside of personal training to give yourself a holistic type picture. Okay. At the peak of my training, I used to train, 15, 20 people back to back. Okay. Now that's insanity, by the way. So if you become a trainer, don't do that. Okay, give yourself some breaks. Right? But if you do decide to do 15 people back to back, okay. You actually find yourself, even though you haven't worked out for that day, physically and emotionally exhausted. And you walk out of that room, at the end of the day, and you say, I feel like I've just had the largest workout of my life. And you know, 5 days a week doing that can knock a person around if they're not wary of what they're doing outside of that. So, as I said, I used to have Friday, Saturday and Sunday off. I used to recharge my batteries and, you know, do the damage again the next week. Okay? Important to have balance. Now, it's the same applies as a student. Okay, you work hard during the week, but I encourage you to have 1 or 2 days off where you just don't think about studies. Actually makes your studies more productive, believe it or not. Okay, you have what it takes. Another 5 minutes, guys. This week. You've been an awesome audience today. All right, requirements. Certificate for or a human movements degree, which you guys will have by the end of 3rd year or very close to it. First aid and CPR. Who has their first aid and CPR? Yep, that's probably a requirement as well. Done. Now, insurance you might have to apply for. Okay, if you're serious about doing this, you actually need insurance to cover yourself in case when someone's doing a 300 kilogram leg press, the hips pop out of their sockets and they want to sue you. Okay, now that might be something that's not your fault. Question?
Yeah, just wondering, is it just in general the health club, if you're working for a health club, would they have the insurance for you, or would you have to get your own insurance?
It varies. It varies. Sometimes they will have it for you, but I wouldn't take that chance, and I would probably get one personally anyway. Okay, so if you decide to train someone outside of a health club setting, you'll need what we call personal indemnity and public liability insurance. Okay, it just covers you for I think $10 million. If anyone should launch a lawsuit against you for that much, you're covered. Okay, you can't actually tap that money outside of that situation. Okay, unfortunately. All right, you also need to be registered with Fitness Queensland and in personal training. Okay, now by January next year, and this is exciting for us because by January next year, the whole industry is going under very scrutinised, standardised colouring, where people who have been practising for the last 10 years but have no qualifications, or people who have just taught classes and haven't had any qualifications, won't be able to practice. Okay? You're going to need that certificate that says, I have HM or I have certificate for, and I'm qualified in personal training, and that's one reason you can train with me. If you don't have that, you can't practice. Discipline for paperwork. Now, this might scare some of you off, but it is important to keep track of the amount of sessions that each client is doing, how much money they earn, all that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, you are running your own business. Your business is you and your personal training service. Okay? And business skills, you have to get out there and market yourself, sell yourself. Those things go without saying. So let's have a look really quickly at some opportunities. Be entrepreneurial. That word is really, I think it's really key in our industry at the moment, because as I said, you don't finish and come out to a safe, secure job. You've got to create it for yourself. If you just, I'll just give you an example. I've finished in 2000, and most of my colleagues who've done HM are either working at Coles, or they're working at Bilo, or they're working some other job completely different, because they thought that when they finished they're going to have this awesome job to go to, okay, which is a complete illusion. Now what I did when I finished is I went out and created opportunities and knocked on doors, sold myself to people, and at the moment I'm doing entrepreneurial stuff, so I absolutely love it. A little bit of speaking, because I enjoy working with groups and leveraging my time as well. Okay. Examples that you might want to work with, websites. Prime example, I write for the Zest website. I write a bit for the FitLink website. Do a bit of work because people are absolutely reeling for knowledgeable people who are qualified in the industry. And if you have this degree behind your name, why don't you just call up a few websites or sites and say, listen, can I be your resident exercise guru? Or call up Courier Mail and say, I've got a great idea. Can I do the exercise section of your paper, your local newspaper, whatever it is? Okay, just think outside the square. Public education, and you have so much knowledge. Why not share it with people out there? Starting your own business. Again, throw around some ideas, and I think with your pracs, you'll actually get an idea of what businesses may or may not work. I'd encourage you to do what I've done in that I've studied business in its own right. And when you study business, you can then start to combine the concepts and create what it is you want to create. Okay? If you really want to live the life that you want to live and what you want to do is write down what it is that you want, and I'll talk about that in a sec when we finish up. Because it's very important if you're going somewhere but you don't know what your destination is, then you sort of, Okay, you're interested. So first thing I'd recommend if you're interested is get yourself a personal trainer. Now, I've gone to the liberty of organising a free session for those who want to take it up. And if you fill out the sheets at the end, the one that you can pop your details on, you can actually have an opportunity to sample a session. Okay, or if you've got a friend who's a trainer, get him to take you through a session and feel what it feels like. Okay, because as I said, by 2010, you're going to be the odd one out if you don't have one. Okay, it's the way the industry is going. Most of you already qualified. You just need to map out and get your registration. From here, you approach your target place of employment. It might be a health club, or it might be a PT studio, whatever it is. It might be a mobile trainer. Learn from other successful trainers and enjoy the lifestyle. Now, to finish up today, I'm just going to take you through just the foundational steps of what has helped me. I'd encourage you all to never stop learning and never stop improving. It's easy to finish and say, listen, I've got this degree and now that's it, I'm really old, I'm not doing any more improvement. But if I gave you a jigsaw puzzle and it had 1,000 pieces to it, okay, and that's your, say the jigsaw puzzle of your life, and I said to you, please put that jigsaw puzzle together for me. And I took away the picture. How successful do you think you'll be putting that jigsaw puzzle together? Okay? It's a very powerful analogy for where you go in life. Do you know what the big picture looks like? Okay? And if you don't, just start to paint it. If you don't know what it looks like, just keep talking to people until you can paint the picture. Because once you have the picture, how easy do the pieces fall into place? Okay? Next thing. Don't just improve professionally, improve personally. What I mean by that is going out there and improving your communication skills and reading books on success, on wealth, on people who are successful actually study success, believe it or not. Okay? They don't just become successful. They usually study people who have become successful, model themselves in their field, and actually then become successful as a result of doing what they want. Okay? So I encourage you to do that. And 2 books that I recommend if you're just getting into this industry is a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Okay? It's one that helps you to change the context of your thinking. Very powerful book. Another book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. If you haven't read that book, it also helps you to get out of thinking, in terms of financially limiting yourself. Okay? Very 2 good books. And finish up the 3 people you'll come across during your journeys. Now, I'll tell you a little story that one of my mentors, I'll share with you today. You are on a journey, and you're up a mountain. Okay, the mountain of success, whatever it is you want to call it. You're going to come across 3 main types of people. Okay? Now, the first type of person you're going to come across is what I call a camper. The camper sets up camp at the side of the mountain. Okay? They light a fire, they roast their marshmallows, sit back on their chair, hands on their head, chilling out, cruising. Absolutely cruising through life. Okay? They're campers. The next type of people that you come across are climbers. Now, climbers will actually go up the mountain with you. So they'll help you pack. Okay? They'll climb with you. They'll give you encouragement. They'll fire you up. When you're falling down, they'll reach their hand down and they'll say, come up with me. They'll pull you up. Okay? Now, they're the people that you need to surround yourself with. Surround yourself with climbers. As many as you can. And the last type of people that you'll come across are what I call pullers. Okay? And when you're climbing up that mountain, there's going to be a hell of a lot of people who try and grab onto your clothes or grab onto your leg and say, sorry, you're not going there. Okay? It's too high. Uncharted territory. You can't do that. It's out of your realm. What are you doing that for? Okay? It can't be done. So they're the people that put you down, or people that are really negative about any idea. Like, for example, my dad. I love my dad, but he's a puller. Okay? Every time I share something with him, he'll say, Wes, no, what are you doing that for? Go out there and get a real job. Alright? So I don't share my ideas with him anymore. Okay? I play golf with him, I tennis with him, but I don't talk about what I do with him because I know what he's going to do. So if you make an analogy about people that you work with and your family or people around you, it's going to be very powerful if you know who's who.